Hello and a warm welcome to my YouTube channel where I try to educate viewers on index and stocks via technical analysis. In this video, I have covered Nifty, Bank Nifty, Cnx IT, Cnx Auto, Cnx Energy, Cnx Metal, and Cnx Pharma. So we'll be talking more on the indexes and sectoral indexes and what lies ahead after this wonderful bounce that we have seen since March 3rd. Now let's try to analyze on each of them and see how we can go forward with it. Starting with Nifty, we can see that in Nifty, there are two gap ups which are there. The first one is a tiny one out here, and the next one was made on Friday. So a breakaway gap, a runaway gap, and never short a gap unless you see it covered. So as they say it, so these two gaps saw the sustenance of this gap saw further upside, and then this one on Friday was relentless on the upside, continuously non-stop on Thursday. Sorry, at the even in spite of the weekly settlement. Now, what lies ahead? Going by where Singapore Nifty closed on Friday, and the scene is that we might open with yet another gap up tomorrow near 17,500 odd levels. Now, as per Ichimoku, we have a price and time axis equilibrium date coming up on Monday or Tuesday, plus minus one. And we have a resistance also coming up as per Ichimoku near 17,500, 550. So it would be a level where we might see some long unwinding happening of this approx 2,000 point rally. A confirmation of that would happen if the gap gets covered, the gap open which happens, which could be happening tomorrow, might get covered. That would be a signal that yes, there is long. And at the same time, coincidentally, we also have a bearish harmonic reciprocal at that same level of 17,550 coming up. So 500, 550, this level clearly looks like a zone which might pause this move. May not be a big reversal. That only time will tell whether we are going to see a major reversal from here, or we could go for a narrow, shallow, sideways move in the index going forward. But what is certain that this level could now act as a hindrance unless Nifty starts sustaining above 17,800. Then yes, we could be in a further strong orbit. Otherwise, some profit booking could come. Now, where is the support for Nifty? In case we do have a gap up tomorrow, then 17,375, 17,250, 17,000, and then the bigger support, the major crucial one is near 16,600. If 16,600 by any chance does not hold, then it would be a bad scene going forward. So it's too early to say whether it is going to be a major dip, big reversal going all the way below 15,300, going further down, or we are going to go into some narrow, small sideways zone, make a higher low, which would be a bullish signal going forward. So in both cases, time will tell. Definitely a pause coming to maybe a minor or a small dip coming out here. So index point of view would be very cautious going forward from the long side, definitely from the long side. Now let's have a look at what Bank Nifty appears to be doing. Bank Nifty took the brunt of the selling from October down the way, all the way down till March 8th. And from there we saw a reversal. The reversal gave a bullish island reversal, a very strong reversal candidate, and we saw that once it took place and it held on to the gap, we saw sharp green candles, and we saw another second massive gap away. So a breakaway and a runaway gap has taken place already in Bank Nifty, and going by again what Singapore is suggesting, we might see another gap up tomorrow. Now here's the thing, in the similar case of Bank Nifty being that 37,250 is a strong resistance coming up, and above that the next resistance is straight away set up at 37,000, 38,000. So 32, 37, 250, and then 38,000 is where there is a resistance lined up for Bank Nifty. Again, here too, there is a bearish harmonic reciprocal pattern around 38,000. So 37,7, in fact, 37,800 odd. So both cases, Nifty, Bank Nifty, this spurt that we are seeing from the first week of March could now pause out here and see some dips. Now, where is the support? In case we see a big gap up tomorrow, then the first support comes in at 36,750 and then a major one at 35,750. Here too, we would like to see, just like in the case of Nifty, hold on to 16,500, 600. We would like to see Bank Nifty from a bullish perspective, hold on to 35,500 to 35,000. Anything below that will not be good for Bank Nifty. But right now, we shouldn't be thinking too deep of a correction here too. We should be thinking more of, a pause to some long unwinding taking place out here. Again, an index where fresh longs should be avoided near those levels of 37,250 to 38,000 going ahead. In both the cases, it could be a bit wobbly around that zone. Now let's look at what Cnx IT is suggesting. Cnx IT gave a reversal almost 2 weeks before Bank Nifty did. That was courtesy to the US dollar move during the Russian Ukrainian crisis, which is still going on. So that spurted the dollar, and then we saw a sharp move much ahead. Now, going by where we are anticipating Bank Nifty to get resistance tomorrow onwards, Cnx IT has already started reacting from the resistance. Remember, it started earlier. It has paused earlier. We can see two clear days, that was on 15th as well as on 17th, where it had an open equal to high and saw selling pressure. And on the Thursday, we did see a sharp selling pressure, which suggested the level of the lower levels being tested in that. That was mainly, there was some news circulated around 3 p.m. that Accenture has given a poor guidance going forward. Because of that, there was selling pressure. That kind of selling pressure, if we see tomorrow, primarily tomorrow, on a follow-through selling, would suggest more weakness below 35,500 all the way down to 34,500. Else, upside in Cnx IT only comes above 36,500. Otherwise, it remains in an extremely volatile zone. So again, Bank Nifty and Cnx IT, two sectors which have a major weight on the Nifty, are one is approaching a resistance while other is at one. So which might now impact the move of Nifty going forward. Now let's look at what Cnx Auto is suggesting to us. Now, Cnx Auto in the weekly reacted from a bearish harmonic deep crab made in November. That was a sharp reaction from 12,100 odd, where we've seen over the last 4 months a deep correction all the way down to 9,200 odd levels, which was the Ichimoku support level from the Kumo, where it gave a sharp bounce back from there. Now let's see what lies ahead for it. Cnx Auto is is going to approach a resistance at 10,775 tomorrow. Again, if a gap up opens, it will be opening near a resistance. If it can take out that resistance of 10,775, then this one can continue its up move. Again, a gap up which has been held, again a second gap up, that would suggest 11,000 going forward. So an index which could continue its up move still, provided it takes out 10,775. It has got strong support at 10,300. So all dips in Cnx Auto might see good smart money buying coming in. So, or the sector might not witness too much selling pressure, even if the Nifty index is. So sector where smart money could still be parking its fund going forward, likely possible. Now let's have a look at Cnx Energy. Now Cnx Energy right from October looks like a triangle formation unless this was a sideways correction and it does a breakout. The breakout possibility is only above 25,418. So if it tomorrow's gap up opens above it, then it's another sector where strong buying could continue. So because then it would suggest move. Otherwise, it could, if it's still within the triangle, it could take a dip down to 24,500 to 24,000 before it completes its sideways corrective and then starts a very big rally. So short-term indecisiveness, unless 25,420 is not taken out, else minor dip and then a very, very strong medium term coming out for it in that case. Based on how things appear over the next few days, it will be a very clear picture in the case of Cnx Energy. Now let's have a look at Cnx Metal. Metal sector started its correction again in October. Some metal stocks actually started their correction much before. And here too, we can see a sharp reversal took place like in IT much earlier. Going forward, the structure is very, very bullish. Above 6,275, major breakout happening. Metal could be the sector where smart money might continue to get in more and more bullish. Very strong support at 6,050. Very, very strong support. So dips could be bought likely in this. Any dip, any panic in Nifty could see buying in the metal sector. Else, above 6,275, we could see a continuation of a strong move going forward in the case of metal. So one strong possible sector along which is looking much more stronger than the other sectors across the board. And the last one, Cnx Nifty Pharma. Now, Pharma has bared the brunt for quite some time now, and you can see out here in the monthly that the reversal in Cnx Pharma came from a bearish Harmonic alt shark in October from 14,950 levels. And from there, we saw a steady decline, not a very sharp one compared to what other sectors have seen, but it has actually not outperformed the other sectors. So hence the correction was also not very deep. Now let's have a look at what the weekly is doing. The weekly saw a sharp bounce from an Ichimoku cloud support at 12,500. So a 2,000 point decline, saw a sharp and a massive green weekly candle. After a very, very long time, a massive green candle was spotted in Cnx Pharma. But Cnx Pharma has this reputation of giving such moves and then dip down. Here we can see one out here also. Here also we can see one. Whether we have a continuation of this up move in Cnx Pharma would require it to start sustaining above 13,750 odd levels, 13,750, 14,000, 13. This particular level is the trend line resistance out here. So if it needs to continue with its up move, it needs to take out this level of 13,750. Else here too, we could see a pullback happening around till 13,000 or 13,250 odd levels in the coming days. So tenterhooks for Cnx Pharma. Fresh long would be not advisable unless it breaks out on the upside out here. We'll see how it moves on. A breakout would be fantastic for it. Then we would be looking at 14,250 and maybe a lot more possible in Cnx Pharma in the coming days. So sector which is going to tell us going ahead whether more continuation or not. Clearly, the sign is very clear that the large cap, the large weightage of Nifty, which lies with Bank Nifty and Cnx IT, might not let Nifty rally, but the other sectors might try to push it. So possibility in that case would be that the Nifty would get into a narrow range as management of Nifty would be done with more bias towards minor dips happening towards 17,000 because of the weightage these two sectors have, while the others try to push it up, courtesy Reliance and Tata Steel and JSW Steel, Hindalco, Coal India, and all try to push its way up with Maruti and Tata Motor, etc. So overall, that looks like the scenario. I hope this video has been of help to you. And so don't forget to like and share the video and subscribe to the channel. Disclaimer before we wind up, this is not a net trading or investing advice. Kindly do your research in full before taking your investment decisions. Until then, happy investing everyone. Bye-bye.